hundreds of people. And I love the fact that you started at such a young age. You felt your creative juices come.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? You started feeling it like, I know everyone's asked you. I don't want to ask in the same way that you drew on the walls.
It's gonna be a different answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5? Do we talk about 5 years old?
I'm thinking like, because I'm just thinking back to like my fondest memories. So I'm thinking like it had to be like 5 to like 8.
Okay.
And I mean I used to get in trouble for writing on my walls.
My mom?
My mom, dad, writing on walls, and then it was like they used to paint over the walls, and then it got to the point where I started writing on the wall but putting stuff in place of it. When it came in, I would literally put like sneaker boxes or a chair or something like that, and they would like move and sweep and be like, "Yo, you still writing on these darn walls?" And it got to the point where I was getting beatings, and I just kept doing it though because I felt as though like if it's my room, it kind of gotta be my room. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I got a son now, so I know he's gonna be doing all types of stuff to get me like on my nerves. But I just felt like if it's my room, I should be able to like have it the way I want it. All the other walls is white. My room shouldn't be just plain like that.
Right.
So it got to a point where my mom set me down and was just like, listen, you can have a room, just not the kitchen, the living room, no hallways. And I understood that, and I was like, cool.
Okay, so you owned your room.
I had to.
Did you have a palette that's similar to this palette now?
No, I just had markers, like just whatever I could get that wouldn't show up on the wall that much. But when she let me go crazy, then I just was like, black marker, red marker, simple stuff. I'm from the hood, so it wasn't like I had a whole art kit. You know what I'm saying? It was just markers, pens.
Is it
stuff
true,
like that.
on that note, I don't want to make you upset, I don't want to get upset too, when JP gave you your first set of real artist supplies?
Right.
What did that look like?
What did it look like? Actually, it was a bunch of fabric paint because the mission was to do T-shirts throughout the neighborhood because it was a clothing company that was named by the name of Mesquite in the early 2000s. So everybody was buying these T-shirts from like South Street, and they were like $75 at the time. So, and I'm older at this point in time too. So my first real art set was me. I was maybe 17, 18. So I was playing basketball in the midst of that, and JP was my best friend. So he actually knew what I did other than basketball because he came into my house. He was in the basement, stuff like that.
That's what I wanted to know. I mean, we're skipping years because we'll go back to that. So he knew you as your best friend, knew that you had this talent.
Yeah.
And saw you already, we'll talk about basketball of course, but saw that you were creative in that realm and you were also creative in your basketball talent as well.
Right. Well, he's seen my basketball talent because like that was outside.
Yes.
That's what everybody in the hood gathers to. You got a basketball game, you play basketball, everybody's cheering you on. Anything kind of left of that is like weird. So I kept all my art stuff in the house because even if I went outside saying, yo, I love art, it's like, shut up. Somebody probably throw something at me, you know what I'm saying?
Like, really?
So I just kept that to myself, and everybody that was really close to me seen that because they actually got to come in my house. They actually knew me. They knew I would be like, yo, give me that jean jacket. Let me do something to it. And they'd be like, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
What did happen? I'm sorry I interrupted. So the T-shirts, at that time, $75.
Right. Okay, so $75 T-shirts. Him knowing that I could do art and, not really paint yet because I came from an environment where nobody really had art in their houses. Okay. So I wasn't even thinking that far. I'm thinking about like just making outfits dope, sneakers dope. We went skating a whole lot, so I was doing people's skates. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it got to the point of us making T-shirts because we didn't really have that much money to go buy these dope painted T-shirts that we wanted.
$75 is a lot of money.
A lot of money at that time. And so I did his first shirt. He brought me the set of paints. I had a bunch of T-shirts that we went out and got when T-shirts was like $4 in a big pack. So I did him a shirt, and he lived on the other side of West Philly. So once I did his shirt, it said JP, had a Cristal bottle on it, 55th Street on the back, and he wore it, and then he came back like, yo, everybody from my hood want a shirt. How much we gonna charge? And I'm like, $25. You know what I'm saying? So the first day that I actually did his shirt, once it got dry, was like automatic feedback, and we already had like $150 with people lined up waiting for shirts. So you gotta believe I didn't have anything set up. I'm doing this stuff. I'm putting shirts on like canvases and wrapping them and messed my mom couches up. The floors got paint on it, everything. So it was like a hard transition because it really wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel for artists. So if my mom seen me messing up the couches and all that, she's like, yo, you killing my couches. So it wasn't really like, okay, I know this is leading towards something amazing one day. She was just always a supporter of me playing basketball, just anything that I did. So she didn't really trip out too much, but I couldn't really I didn't really have answers for her when she was asking me like, so what you gonna do with this? And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just I love to do it.
Right? But there was a demand. It sounds like there was. I would love to see actually if you have any of those photos of the actual shirts that you first made.
See, 2000, like around 2001, it wasn't any picture phones. It was literally you had to have somebody bring your camera
and take. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was literally like, it just wasn't that time. But I mean, I could probably go back and maybe find some and send them some to you from my old page. Because I have a page, Saladeen Art.
Okay.
Saladeen Art. And I have no idea what's on that page. But it was just like me in the super beginning stages. Like I was so like 9.
Raw? Were you like raw?
Super raw, not.
Self-taught.
Yeah, but I'm saying like even for me to sit here and talk to you, it was hard. Like JP literally told me that I had to learn how to talk about my art because he was from a different area than me. So he was a Quaker, so he was brought up in the better part of Philadelphia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was from over here. He was from over here, but then his family moved over here, and then we met in the skating rink because he used to always have these dope sweaters, and I used to be like, "Yo, you the dude with the Bill Cosby sweaters," and he used to be like, "Yo, you don't even know nothing about this. This is da 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 da." I'm like. I ain't know nothing about other than Nike and just like Polo. He's talking about some like real designer sweater, and I'm like, whatever, dog.
Yeah.
So we actually, this is going off of course a little bit, but we met going to school. He took the L and I took the L, so I used to see him from the skating rink, and then we just talked, and then after that it was just like, I don't know, it's like best friends type movie stuff.
Right? It does really, like when you do, I know that he passed, and I know that the Money Bear, of course, was named after him. I'm sure so many other thoughts like go around your head about, like, I know he's here, first of all, so you know.
Definitely.
So I do want to see her, so.
Are you?
Yes. So, you know, he's here, and he's so proud of you, and this is okay that it's on camera. What would you want to say to him right now for where you are today? He's here, so.
That's pretty deep.
Sorry.
I would want to say like, you know, definitely, and I say it to him all the time. Like everybody that's around me right now have like a sense of like them knowing JP, but they never met him.
Yeah.
Because I explain them, I talk to them, I talk about situations so much. I would just want to say thank you. You know what I mean? Because like where we come from is like, if you don't have that right friend or that right people in your environment, like you can go left so fast because it's like the right way is like not existent almost. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, good.
Was he I know he is. He's gone. The driving force in your becoming, not going to jail, not going to drugs,
because he went to jail,
not going to gangs.
No, I wasn't no gangs in Philly.
No, but nothing. But nothing in a negative way.
Nah, it was more because he was like, yo, I'll risk everything. You know what I'm saying? So he went to jail a few times. You know, he sold a bunch of weed, and you know, he went to jail for just hanging out with the wrong people and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it was like I seen from him, my cousins. I knew what was not right. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's like you feel like you never gonna get an opportunity to get outside of your environment doing right, because it's like, how do you make money if nobody in your family has any opportunity for you to make money? They don't make money.
Right, it's like a legacy. You have no legacy.
Exactly. So JP was just one of the people he was the first person that took me to New York, first person that took me to Atlanta, because of the things that he was doing. Like, so it wasn't like he was the dude that would be like maybe selling weed or something like that and would just buy clothes and wouldn't go anywhere. He would like venture out to go places and be like, hey, come on, we're going. You know what I mean? Like when we went to New York, it was because he partied at Greenhouse. And anybody who really knows New York or knows that level of that club is like, okay, he wasn't a nickel and bagger. He wasn't a nickel and dimer. You know what I'm saying? He used to rent $5,000 VIP booths. You know, me a champagne bottle, him a champagne bottle, and he didn't even drink it. He used to be like, he ain't just do you. He used to love seeing me do me. That's how I found out about Whip, the club that was strictly art around the corner from Spin. He was like, yo, I was just popping bottles last night at this club. It was art everywhere. You gotta go. You know what I mean? And that wound up for me meeting the owner of Whip and Greenhouse and getting a whole wall at Whip. You know what I mean?
It's news to me.
So when I did my first thing at Whip, that was like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I went to New York. I actually had something to do in New York, art-based, you know what I mean? Other than just shopping or partying and falling asleep at exit 11, you know what I mean? It was just like, I really had something to do. So that's why I started like really making relationships and meeting up with Mr. Dope Pick and everything like that, because Mr. Dope Pick was the first person that ever took any type of video on me.
Okay. Like an interest in you?
Like not an interest, because JP used to get camera people to take pictures of him and take pictures of us when we was out, you know, doing our thing. So he was the first person that was like, look, I just paid this this photographer $500. You gotta go talk. And I'm like, talk about what? He's like, your art. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, at that time, I didn't know. People would ask me like, this is amazing. What was on your mind? What was your inspiration? And I was so raw to the point where I'm just like, I don't know. I just did it. And he used to be like, you cannot say you just did that shit. Okay. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, make up something. Say you was walking by a lake or some shit. You know what I'm saying? See, he already knew. He already kind of knew how to go about it.
More polished, not just raw.
Totally. Because he was like, yo, like that's gonna help you sell art. Because if you just say, I don't know, he's like, the story is a part of the art. So he was pretty much schooling me on just down to this interview. You know what I mean? How to talk, what to talk about. How to express it, how to express why I put blue next to yellow. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't have no clue. I just had it in my head and I did it.
Right.
So it's just crazy, man. So I would just tell him thank you for everything. And I tried my best to keep his name alive. You know what I mean? Donating back to cancer, bringing out a toy in his name. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's pretty deep.
He knows, he knows, and you talk to him, you have to talk to him more, in my opinion, out there.
Right.
Tell him more about how, I don't know, it's life. I don't care if this is on camera. Talk to him more about life, what you're going through. I know you're going through something right now. Talk to him more, okay? Call on him more, because he is there for a reason to help you, and he was, he was put on your path for a reason. Right. And I know you know that. So please call on him more, because whatever you're going through right now, call on him more, okay? Please.
Yeah, it's deep.
I know you're going through something.
She is a medium.
Yeah. I know you're going through something. So with that being said, I am such a proponent from talking about, like, I feel like everything has a reason. I know you had that accident, although it was awful. You are going to be, I'm sure, a basketball star. You are getting to, getting to travel out of pretty bad part, out of your life. You got to see different things that you weren't able to see before. Like, do you still look back at that and say, this is the reason why I continued and pursued art?
I was doing art. No, I'm not upset. I'm great. I'm great. It just was like emotional time, because you was like, he's here. And like, I was just like, yo, I be feeling it, but I don't be, I'm not a medium. I don't do none of that. You know what I mean?
I talked to him.
But I think the accident happened literally, I don't know why it happened. You know what I mean? But I think it happened, and it didn't deter me from like basketball. That was the thing. They just said that I needed to wear goggles. I was in the hospital for like a month though. You know what I mean? I was in the hospital for a month, and then I was back at my grandmother's house for maybe like 3 months before I was like really 100%. Well, I was probably never 100% until like a year, 2 years later.
Okay.
But this is like, I'm 15, so this is like a boy's like mid-ground, where it's like you're starting to really get your confidence, really starting to figure out who you are, figure out what you like to do and stuff like that. And like for me to be in a car accident and really have like major abrasions to my face and my eyelids, and they said that I might have not been able to see. it was all kinds of stuff going on. But it was one doctor I remember. He was like, "Man, you so young. Don't even worry about it, man. Everything's gonna come right back. You girls gonna
like
like
resilient. Yeah,
he was just super cool. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to get any surgeries or nothing. He was like, yo, just I had to put ointments on my face. It was like almost like a bad like if you fall off a dirt bike.
Or did you do that?
What?
Put the ointments on and take care of yourself.
It was like my grandma, my mom, me too. Sometimes I had to put it on at night and drops and all kinds of stuff.
I know I have a 14-year-old son that'll probably be like, Mom.
Yeah.
Mommy.
But I don't know. I think the accident might have happened just based on so I could grow up with like less ego too. I think.
Okay. Were you starting bravado there or?
I can't really remember, but I always had that spunk like that, like you know what I mean. So I don't really know. But I'll tell you one thing. It literally had me thinking like what I wanted to do with my life at a young age because I was like, damn, basketball is a sport. Everybody plays basketball. I love basketball. But I always wanted to be the guy that would play basketball and then leave in like a Lamborghini or a Benz and then be like, oh, I'm going to go do what I do. But still love to play the game and all that. So I knew that at a young age, but I just didn't know what I would want to do or what I could do. I knew I wasn't going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something. I don't know. I just feel like at that age, I just knew my limitations already.
Who put those limitations on you?
It was just my environment. It was just like, to be a lawyer or a doctor, it's like, I can't go to the public school I'm going to.
Okay.
I can't be around this many people that aren't successful and do that. I just felt like, and then that wasn't a dream of mine. You know, I wasn't really a guy that like loved school, but I love certain subjects. Okay. I love being around a lot of people. I love sports. I love sports. So it was like, I'm not a bad student, but I'm not the guy that's going to be studying.
You just knew that, but you could do it. Let me just teach you something.
No, I could.
You could have done anything you wanted, but you chose
art. Yeah. And that's one of the things where I'm trying to like, I have a 1-year-old now, you know what I mean? And it's like, I want to put him around all different atmospheres because I was in one environment. Right. So I'm looking at everybody as I come outside, and if you from those environments, it's like, from here to the corner store is a world.
Absolutely.
You don't know what downtown look like unless your mom takes you to the museum and your mom takes you to that park that is the nice park. You know, you don't know that it exists. Because from block to block, it's literally like, oh, I'm not going to go over there because those guys be over there, or I know they be shooting over there, so I'm going to just stay in my little world.
Right.
So that's where just limitations in my brain just came from, like stuff like that.
And you want more for your son.
Yeah, definitely.
You want him to be exposed to like everything and anything.
Everything.
Because you didn't, and it wasn't any fault of your family. You just didn't have that.
Yeah, it just wasn't in the upbringing. It just wasn't. I mean, when I started getting older, my aunt, which I will always say is like one of the most successful people in my family household, it was my aunt and my grandfather. But my grandfather was always working. You know what I mean? So he was like, he started the trucking department at University of Penn. Yeah, so
grandpa?
Yeah, that's my grandpa. Okay. Yep. So he always was busy working, but I always seen him in a suit, tie. So I'm just like, damn, I want to do something like that where I can get dressed up. He always had a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac. So we were like the family on the block that like had it together, but everybody, when you have it together, you have to like keep working so you don't lose it.
Sure.
So my aunt was the one that used to take us to Disney World and stuff like that. So once I went to Disney World, it was like over, like creativity wise, you know what I'm saying? Like I seen colors that I never seen before. So I think that's why like all the work I do is so colorful, because if you go to Philadelphia any day, you don't see any of these colors. But when I went to Florida and I went to, we went to Epcot Center, we went like everywhere. It was just like I took all this stuff home with me and then just started working. So my first art pieces, it was like, it would be like colors before, browns and dark blues and burgundies, you know what I mean? Because it was like, I'm trying to like create what's inside of my head, not what's in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like, that's where the color palettes come from.
And it just clicked, would you say? Like you got inspired by the flowers and the colors and
everything.
All the themes.
Being able to see the whole sky. You know what I mean? Like be able to like ride down a road and it's literally sky.
Yes.
You don't see that. You see right here in the hood.
Yeah.
Right there, right here, right. You know what I mean?
And you said like those colors are very much God forgive me, like projects or whatnot, like dark buildings here in the city as
Gray,
well.
burgundy.
Gray, burgundy,
a little
dark.
green, a little
Teeny
green.
bit. If you go to like Central Park, that would have been a whole new life for you.
Right.
But you're saying in your mind, that I don't think I've ever heard out of you before.
What?
That the maybe going to Florida, Disney.
Cause I don't know. When you start talking about JP, that it started off different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hit you up differently because I feel you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean that like in a negative way. I feel your energy, and I know you have more to say than every other interview. That's like, but they can't put you in a box.
No.
And I don't know what to call you. If I call you Heem or King or like, what do you prefer?
Whatever you feel more comfortable.
Handsome young man.
That's what's up.
You know, it's like I think what was in you. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I know GP had the best intentions. Mm-hmm. And absolutely, if somebody goes, I don't know, they're kind of like, they don't take you seriously.
Right.
So I know what that feels like, and I know because I'm an artist as well. Like, but I do also want to explore the fact that things were coming out of you that maybe you couldn't explain.
Yeah, I couldn't. But I had no clue.
Right?
I had no clue.
It
Sometimes I still don't have no clue. But I just make a clue because I know JP said, yo, say you was walking in the park.
Oh, it shows me.
You know, so I got to now. But sometimes I do stuff and I'm like, I don't have no blueprint for nothing. The bear came from literally JP saying, alright, this is the story, right? So I was drawn to abstract art because I was from the hood. So I didn't want to be considered as the graffiti artist or whatever like that because I seen graffiti everywhere I went. So I didn't really think that would be like my claim to fame. But so I was like, okay, I'm gonna study a little bit of art, and when I walk in these hotels and stuff, I feel like this is what I should be doing. Because I guess this is what companies want. This is what's in art galleries. Every time I go in art galleries, it's like, you know, it's splashes, it's just blends of this cut, like your shirt. You know what I mean? This is the stuff I was seeing when I would go downtown Philly and walk in art galleries. So I'm like, all right, I gotta start doing this type of stuff. So JP was like, that stuff cool, but I remember him saying this. He's like, that shit cool, but you ain't never go to school for that. And that shows kind of in your work that you didn't go to school, because I could see your abstract piece and then go to New York and see another abstract piece, and I'm looking at it like, I don't know what is missing because I ain't an artist, but it's missing something. And I'm just like, and I was like, yeah, and I take all constructive criticism great. I'm not like the bull like, nah. So I was always like, damn, you're right. And he was like, only way I know that you're painting is if I see your signature. And he was like, in most abstract pieces, the signature's not that big, so you gotta really care to go check it out. And I'm like, damn, he's right. He was like, why you buy certain stuff? And I'm like, because I like it. He's like, why you buy that Nike sweatshirt? I was like, because I like the swoosh. And he was like, you need a swoosh. So after that, months and months and months after that, you know, I'm at work one day, and
when you say work, can you talk about that?
Okay, well, I was a residential counselor, so I was working with kids that were in the judicial system, lockup, like a mini lockup for kids from 11 to like 17. So I was doing that for a while, which JP made me quit that job too. He said, yo, you gotta quit that dumbass job. He kept saying it every day, you gotta quit this dumbass job. And I'm like, bro, I gotta pay my car note. I gotta, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like hustling with you. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, he's like, if you quit your job, I'll give you $4,000. And I'm like, okay, if that $4,000 run out, then what? I'm not the guy that's gonna be like, yo, can you let me go $1,500 until? So I'm just like, nah, man, I'm gonna just do it my way. So he's like, bro, you gotta quit that dumbass job. You're working with kids, that's cool and all. But he was like, bro, when you gonna be able to show people what you do?
Yes.
When you had the time to even run into the right person? And I'm just like, so I'm just frustrated, stressed out. So my job was, I worked with a bunch of, you know, I'm not gonna say bad kids. I'm gonna say kids that just came up in the wrong.
They had a tough time.
Very tough time. You know, parents probably on drugs. You know, I had to read all kinds of stuff because every time a kid comes in, you have to read their whole bio and everything, case file. So, you know, it was all kinds of stuff to, you know, just all kinds of stuff. So, what I did to make my job a little bit easier was I seen the whole layout of our foundation, the foundation I was working for, and it was horrible. Like the kids didn't do anything but eat chips, candy, and watch the same movies over and over. But they had activity rooms. They had all this different, like it was a facility set up for kids to be able to do something. But they wasn't doing that with these facilities. So I'm like, all right, so at the time, I'm on Facebook, I'm selling paintings, you know what I mean? I'm selling like paintings for like, $300, $500, stuff like that when when a good time comes. So I would do that work at my job in the inside of the like the activity rooms. So, and I had my supervisor was very cool too. So he knew what I like to do. He knew what I was trying to do. He knew that this job wasn't like my end. You know what I mean? So he would give me opportunities. He'd be like, yo, why don't you work with the kids?
I was going to say, like, when are you going to tell me that you were in the activity room on the kids?
Because it's like such a long story to the point where it's like, I can't just tell you I was in the activity room with the kids because that wasn't an option.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was literally like I had to watch these kids and break up fights all day. To do something like that, there was another organization that would pay somebody to bring them to our building, and I would have to watch everybody to make sure that they don't throw something at this art teacher or fight this art teacher. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like I wasn't in that area. So a few of the kids see me working on a few paintings because I used to leave them in the dry with the fans on and stuff like that. My shift is over. I'm out to it in my car. I'm calling the person next to me. Yo, done your piece? I drop it off, whatever. So it got down to like me being able to like start driving the van on activity runs and like things that the kids would do. So I started taking the kids to Michael's because I had to go to Michael's to get my paint and my little stuff or whatever. So kids in there like, oh my God, I want this, I want this, I want this. And it's like, all right, so I went back to the supervisor, like, yo, I think we, how much do we get every month for the kids to get stuff? Because y'all buying a bunch of popcorn and chips and candy and all kinds of crazy shit. What can I get out of that budget to get some art supplies for these kids and like, not even canvas. It was like the poster boards that was probably like 10 cents. I'm like, how much can I get? He's like, all right, I can allow you to get maybe like $200. I said, that's cool. I said, that's cool.